tell you something, brother. This might be the best OG Kush I've ever had. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. You just said a mouthful, brother. I'm higher than helicopter butt. Listen, though, Hulkster. YoungLurch has been running his mouth on that podcast. Blaze the Bingo Hall podcast needs to show some respect to the veterans, brother. I say we run in there and show YoungLurch and his guest just exactly who the OGs of this game are, What you gonna do, Blaze the Bingo Hall podcast, when the Macho Man and the Hulkster run wild on you? Ooh, yeah. Give me like 10 minutes, though, because I'm really, really stoned. Oh, yeah.
I love it, dude.
We're back at the Bingo Hall. Welcome in. If this is your first time or if you're a repeat return customer of the Bingo Hall, we always love to have you. Today we have a very close friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. This is going to be a little bit different feel than what most of the episodes are about. But that's the best part about this and why I've started this brand was to meet people like Josh and be able to spread their message and spread their journey. And, you know, it's not always about wrestling and cannabis. So we're going to have a really interesting episode and very excited for this. So everyone, please welcome in Joshua D'Ambrosio. Josh, welcome to the Bingo Hall, my friend.
Thanks, Zach, man. It's a pleasure, bro. It really is. Again, we were just talking off of this. It's amazing where we've come from, man, and see where we are today and still be in touch. It's an honor, man. It really is. Really is a blessing.
Yeah. And, you know, when I first initially hit you up and asked you to come on here, just like I told you beforehand, if we can help one person, if one person can, you know, maybe change the trajectory of their life or maybe something that they're going through just by hearing your testimony or what you have to say today, I think it'll all be worth it. And, you know,
Amen.
Yeah. So I want to go ahead and get right into it. So we'll start, you know, early life of your background. What was your childhood like growing up in Baltimore?
Well, fortunately, man, you were a part of some of that childhood that took place. And, you know, when you first contacted me, I started thinking about, as we talked a little bit, was tell me if I'm remembering this correctly, right? So me, you, and Jamie were sitting on that stoop. You remember this? Right, we're smoking, and I swear, I think his mom or somebody called the cops on us. Somebody called the cops.
Yes. So I actually went to jail that night.
Yes, exactly.
So it wasn't his mom. I don't know if I want to name her, but it was one of the neighbors across the street. Down on the end, I think you know who I'm talking about. I'll tell you off
with the wooden step.
Yeah, so we were out there smoking, and they called the cops on us, and there was like a gram of weed, bro. That's what I went to jail for, a gram of weed.
Yep.
Isn't that something?
And remember, I was on probation at the time. I think I had just literally gotten out of jail at that point, and was on probation. We were sitting there smoking, and cops roll up, bro.
Somebody was going that night. They were determined to take somebody. And
somebody was going,
same thing, man. It's one of those positions where it's like, you know, you were on probation. James is on probation. I had been in trouble, but I wasn't on probation. So it's kind of like I just was in the position where it's like, oh, I guess I'm going to take this charge, you know, because I'm living with James. You know, it's like, I had to, you know, whatever. But it's like one of those things.
But you know what, man? I'll tell you, it's a hard thing to find when you get good friends and good people like that are willing to sacrifice and put themselves out there like that, man. It means a lot to me. I've always been a very loyal person. So that's always will stick in the back of my mind is just pure loyalty, man. And just, you know I was very grateful because I had a lot of time that I was facing. Yeah. I mean, in the end, I still paid for that, but I was very grateful that night it wasn't the case. So, you know, I will say this, knowing what I know now, I realized it wasn't going to be the other person. So that's
it's crazy. I do remember that very vividly. I remember the cop. Dude. He looked like Denzel Washington, and I was like, "Man, Denzel, why are you doing this to me, man?" But I knew it was like he was like, "Hey, they called, so it's a complaint. Someone's got to go." And I'm just like, But it's just so crazy. Like, it was legit a gram of weed. And it's like now I can put my
no
order in
problem.
online and have a medical card and all that. So times have changed so much where it's like,
you, man.
But one of my first memories of you was a little bit before that. It was when I wasn't living down there yet, but I was hanging around and I remember you would cut your own hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good grief.
You have the freshest shape ups, cut your own hair. You'd be like, bro, who cut your hair? You'd be like, oh, I'll do it myself. But then we get you to cut our hair, and you'd be like, I'll be messing it up, bro.
Yeah.
What is happening? The freshest shape ups, but he'd mess your hair up every time you cut it.
Yeah, dude. I could do it myself, man, but I could not cut other people's hair. It was so different. But there's a lot of nerves involved in that. You don't want to jack it up, man. But we were crazy kids, man. Growing up in that area. Yeah, bro. It makes you nervous. You don't want to mess your boys up. But man, we were crazy kids, man. I mean, your wife has known me forever, bro. Like before you and I even met.
To ask you about your skateboarding.
Yeah, man. And she was a wild card on the skateboard, bro. I remember getting her, we built this crappy vert ramp, this half pipe in my backyard. And were you around at that point when I had that built? Okay, so we built this. We went to Inframetals and we found all this busted up plywood, bro. I don't know what the hell we were thinking we could bend it and get it in shape for a half pipe. We built this half pipe, and Brittany was crazy as hell, bro. She got up on there, and I don't even think she had a freaking helmet on. She just went for it, and bang, like back of the head, but she just kept going and going and going. Resilient, relentless, man. So I'm sure you know.
I know firsthand.
Stubbornness is definitely a trait of hers, man. She would not quit, bro, and so I always remember those times. And obviously, growing up in this neighborhood, you didn't have a lot of money and anything like that. And my mom, she had a crappy, let's just say, boyfriend for a long time, and he didn't really. The bills and everything like that were such a problem that Brittany's aunt Patty, great friend of my mom, and God bless her, rest in peace. She was just a saint, man. I remember times when we had to go over there and take a bath, and we ran an extension cord, bro, from our house over across the street into Patty's for some time, man, just to have our refrigerator running so our food wouldn't go bad or anything like that. And I remember those struggles, man. Those were, as a kid, it's crazy because you look back now as a grown person, you're like, that was struggle, man. But as a kid, you're just like, whatever, you're just going with it, right? Like, you don't notice it. So, looking back at it, it's like some of those things, they actually help form you a little bit, right? And, it actually formed a bond with that family because we got to spend so much time together. They were such good friends. It blessed us as kids to just be around them as well. So, we were always outdoor kids, man. I mean, as being around us, always outside. And it's funny, I got this clip from a friend the other day, and it's a comedian. I can't remember who his name is, but he's up there and he's talking about, you realize if you walk around and you don't see young kids in casts anymore, like what the hell's going on? When I was in the third grade, it looked like you walked into an ER, right?
Yep.
It's like true. Kids with casts everywhere, right? And I just remember, growing up in those streets, man, and being outside was like, the street lights come on. Everybody talks about this, but street lights come on, get your ass home, right? Like, book it. It's time to go, right? Doesn't matter how many blocks you are. You found the gas to find a way home, right? And, you had all the fun you could. You breaking windows, doing all that dumb stuff as a kid. But I just remember the relationships, man. I think some of those I admittedly and unashamed to admit it now, I screwed some of those relationships up, a lot of them. And it was through the actions and choices of my own self. And I'm a firm believer in now that grace is such an amazing gift to give people. Like it doesn't just come from God, it comes from us as well. And you don't understand that as a kid. You're just I don't know, bro. I don't know about you, but I kind of just went with the flow. I was like, whatever, this is my life and I'm just going to keep going and going. It's almost felt a little uncontrollable. at times, and looking back at it, I probably lost control up until the point I was about 26 years old. Now I'm in prison at that point, but we'll get to that. To talk about our childhood, it was a lot of fun, man. I don't think a lot of kids are experiencing the way that we experienced it back then. It's being missed truly. I mean, this was an age of, the internet had just became popular at that point, and people were getting, they're still on AOL, and dial up is still happening, right? Like those were simple days. You'd sit back, and this right here wasn't possible. Think about that. It's
the connections that we can make nowadays,
it's incredible, man. And so, but we did, there's some things that get lost in the midst of all of that, because now the connections when it comes to face-to-face conversation, people are they're not as confident as they used to be, right? It's just not as normal. And we have a thing that we say in our real estate company, JW Homes, by the way, if you all want to get in touch with us. But
shout out.
Yeah. So, it's what we say in our real estate business. We like to be belly to belly, toe to toe with people, right? So we love to meet people. We love to see people in person, take people out to lunch, bless them with gifts, do these things, right? And it's kind of sad to say, but in this business now, in 2025, that's just unheard of, bro. It's like people don't do that. It's purely transactional. There's no relationship involved. There's no in-depth. You're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars of people's money, and you can't even have a face-to-face conversation or have the confidence to do that, like be in the same room as that person that you're helping. So with the technology and all that, there's been some loss in it. And I think as a country, as young people are growing, man, they've missed out a lot on some of the experiences that we were fortunate enough to kind of experience in life, right?
I think we're also in that like perfect time of like we're still connected to the people above, like of the older generation that didn't have the technology that we have, and then we seen the boom.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we get to see both sides of it and we're kind of like the best of both of best of both worlds, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I also feel like that people just don't know how to have a conversation anymore, no matter what the topic is or, what's going on. It's just like they don't know how to speak. They don't know how to hold a conversation about anything. They just hide or, people don't even come out the house. Like you said, kids don't have cast anymore because they're staying in the house all day. Like,
yeah, man, it's easier to be on Facebook. And I mean, we talk about it all the time. I mean, I've already got haters for what I'm trying to accomplish and do with the youth
already.
And serve already, which is a good thing, because I look at it like that means to me that, well, praise God for you. I'm sorry that you feel this way, but the fact that I got your attention for a moment, hopefully means I'm doing something right. So, typically when people have something ignorant to say to you, it's because they're not doing it themselves, right? And they're jealous that they're not, or they didn't think of it, or
a lot of it comes from envy sometimes.
Exactly. That's where it's 100% where it comes from. And, I'm after being released from prison, let's just step back, right? So, growing up teenager, broke a lot of law, man. I went to jail the first time.
Hold on. I don't want to cut you off. We'll get to that. I got us lined up. I don't want to. We'll jump.
Steer this boat, man.
Yeah, I got you. So you said that in your environment growing up, do you feel like there was any like influences, anything that influenced your decisions as a youth, or like you said, things just kind of snowballed, and depending on what environment you're in, that's kind of how you like you said, you went with the flow?
Yeah, man. I always loved being around the older guys, and at that time it was Bobby, it was Sammy, it was all those guys, right? And they were all doing the wrong thing, man. I mean, they just, I don't know what it was about it, but it was something about the lifestyle that they lived. It just felt free. It felt, I don't know how else to put it, but it was a gangster lifestyle, man. It was like they didn't take no crap. They were always fighting. They were always into something, man. And they also had all the girls and everything like that, it's one of those things that as a young guy, it's like, I want to be around that. What are y'all doing? Yeah. And so I had nothing but bad influences. And my two brothers, man, they're completely opposite of me, and we'll get into that later, but complete opposites of me. And the things that attracted me to just that lifestyle was, everything. I mean, these dudes were selling drugs. They were, they had the girls. They were feared, and I guess somewhat respected because of that fear. And as a kid, you're just like, I want to be around that. So I remember going around just picking fights with them dudes. They would drop me on cars, like wrestle. I remember Sammy Stone Cold stunnered me on the sidewalk, bro. On the sidewalk. And I'll never forget, man, my jaw hurt so bad.
Jeez.
The Tabitha pulled me off a step onto the concrete sidewalk, man. Like, they used to slam me on people's cars, and that was a wild time. And I couldn't help my dumb self. I kept going back for more, man.
Do you feel like there was like a specific moment or an event that you feel like pushed you towards the streets? Or is there maybe like a void or something that you were trying to fill?
I do remember, yeah. I started smoking weed, man. I started smoking weed, man. I'll never forget the first time. I don't know if Brittany was there or not, but Jesse was there. And I can't remember if Brittany was there, but Sean was there. And it was the first time that he smoked weed too, and he was freaking out, bro. And like, I don't know if you remember, but your first time, like, you're smoking, and your buddy's like, you're okay, but your buddy is freaking out, man. Yeah. And because he's freaking out, now you're freaking out.
And everybody's high.
Yeah, dude. It's like, bro, we are gonna get caught. Like, so anyway, he was freaking out, and I remember walking home with him, and I was like loving the way I felt, man. I was like, man, I feel so free and just not a care in the freaking world. I was like, I want to feel like this all the time, man. Like, This is great. Like, this is what I want to do. And I remember going home. I had just had like some chicken and all that stuff. And I went over to Jesse's and we smoked and all that. Came back home like 2 hours later. I shouldn't have been hungry at this time, right? Bro, I was. I went to the house, pulled out the pot. I pulled out a pot. Put it on the counter, went for the Fruit Loops, dumped the whole box. Had a jug of milk. Bro, my mom's standing behind me, right? And she looks at me. She's like, boy, look at me, right? You imagine my mom, man. She's like, look at me. So I look at her, eyes bloodshot, low, stupid, goofy smile, Yeah. And she's like, boy, you high? I was like, nope.
Thinking you got her fooled, right?
Completely lied. And she knew. I mean, my mom was smoking weed at that time anyway. Yeah. And, the one thing about it was I think this was really the turning point. My mom told me, she was like, if you're going to do it, you do it here at the house because I know you're safe, right? And I think as a kid at that time, that was the worst comment she could have gave me. It was a worst comment.
It was a green light to
That was a green light, man. And, slowly but surely, I remember, if you remember my room, I had tons of alcohol bottles. And, I'm like 14 years old at this point, 14, 15. And, I had no, we used to pay the homeless people up there, the addicts, to go in there and get us alcohol all the time. But
hey, mister.
Yeah, and my mom, it felt like I had the green light to do whatever I wanted to, bro. I mean, it really was. It was like, yeah, hey, do it here. At least if you're going to do it here.
Yeah.
But it was odd, bro, because she didn't treat my brothers that way. It was just, me and my mom had this very much of a friend connection, which it's cool. As a kid, it's like, man, fantastic. She's just a friend to me.
Yeah.
But you lose the respect aspect of, that's my mom.
Yeah.
And some love gets lost in the midst of that too,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it definitely can. It kind of like forces you. It almost makes you mature a lot faster in a way because you're living a life that you shouldn't be at a younger age. So then you feel like, hey, I'm a man, but really you're, like you said, you're 14, 15 years old. It's like,
ain't even got a job.
Yeah. So it's, yeah. Do you think, how do you think your family responded to your behavior as a teen? I mean, I know they obviously didn't condone it, but it's like, I know you, and I remember you at that time, and I'm sure you probably weren't able to be controlled. You know what I mean? You're going to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I got into fights with my stepdad a lot. I remember getting my first tattoo, and my mom found out, bro. She was chasing me up and down the street, bro, like swinging, throwing punches at
Okay.
me. And I caught some of those, but then there was one point. I was 16 at that point when I got my first tattoo, and I remember at some point as she's chasing me up and down the street, I just stop and I grab her by her hands, and I look at her like, don't ever hit me again. Like I lost a lot of respect um, from my mom because of that. I think at that moment, I think I really scared her,
Yeah.
and my stepdad he was an enabler more than anything, man. I mean, I remember me and Sean would have girls over our house, and we had like 7 girls over our house one time, and they had this lady Stephanie like spying on us, bro, like constantly. So they knew they were out at the bar. Stephanie's spying on us. We have all these girls in my house, and I wasn't supposed to.
So he was enabling the drama.
He was enabling it, man. Like he loved to hear that I had all these chicks and all this stuff, and he was like all for it. And it was not conducive of. It was not what I needed, bro. I needed discipline. I needed discipline because I had none, and I had no respect for anybody. It was, hey, middle finger to the world. You felt like, I was pumping a lot of Tupac and DMX at that point.
Go. It's a go. Me mentality, and it's just you're on a. I guess it's self-destructive in a way.
Self-destructive,
you know what I mean?
snowball, man. Yeah, it
Yeah.
snowballs quickly. Yep. I remember. I was probably this was I can't remember what grade I was in. I was probably about 11 or 12, but I remember the first time I stopped being afraid of people. And I credit my mom this a little bit, but maybe the way she went about it was just probably not the right way to do it. I was being chased home by this dude named Clayton, right? I'm not going to name any last names, but his name's Clayton. And him, a guy named Ferrari, and 2 other guys. So, Ferrari's girlfriend had liked me or whatever, and a bunch of drama there, right? I'm 11 years old, bro, 11 to 12. I'm like, yeah, I'm a white guy. Yeah, well, his girlfriend. So it was just our neighborhood's predominantly black, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm in Ben Franklin Middle School, and this girl likes me, and she's dating Ferrari, and he's got all his boys and all that, and they chased me all the way home, bro. Like from Ben Franklin. I'm talking about up the hill, bro, up the hill, down the hill, and bro, all the way to my house. And I never forget, bro. I walked in that house and I'm out of breath. And my mom's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, there's kids out there. They want to fight me. And she's like looking out the door and she's taking my book bag, says, well, get your ass out there and fight. And I got whooped, like they banked me, man. And it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, I looked at it and thinking back at it, I had an attitude of like, I didn't chump out. And what I learned from it was those guys the next day had a lot of respect for me. At 12, bro, like these dudes seeing me the next day, I had black eye, busted lip, all that. I'm in school still, and they're looking at me like,
got heart.
This white boy's got hard. Like he went out there, he came back out, and I didn't send my mom. My mom wouldn't go out there, so I went out there. But what that did was it fueled violence in me too. It became a very violent, unafraid person.
Probably enabled you to think, oh,
this is what you do.
Yeah.
This is how men handle business, right?
What did survival mean to you back then?
Man, I didn't think I was going to survive at all, bro. I remember there was instances, man, 18 was going to be my max lifespan. I didn't think, I remember 17 years old. I lived with my dad for like a year of high school, 16, like a year of high school. I got kicked out that year, but I clicked up with dudes that were vice lords, and we just really clicked because I was on the football team with them, and I didn't know they were gang banging or nothing like that at the time, but They lived right behind me in the apartment buildings. And so I got really close with them. My buddy Relly at the time was gangbanging as a vice lord, and we're young kids, man. I mean, it's amazing to think about it now. Like, he's gangbanging, he's a vice lord. Like, bro, it's to be almost 35 and think about a 16-year-old gangbanging and be legit. It's just unfathomable, man. But it's real life, and it's even more real today, right?
Yeah.
But being hooked up with those guys, it was influence. It was influence. It was like they're into everything I'm into: smoke weed, get money, and mess with women, right? I mean, that was what we did, and it was the lifestyle, And I remember this is stupid, man. I don't know why I remember this, man, but the first time the Lollipop song came out by Lil Wayne, you remember that?
Yep. One of his all-time bangers.
Yes, weird.
I know.
Bro, it's crazy. So that song drops, and I remember my buddy Relly was so into it, right? Like, bro, this ain't it, right? And it was a banger, though. He made a lot of money off of it.
Yeah, he did.
But I was like, bro, this ain't it, right? And but that night, man, was that song had dropped, and he's showing me the song, and the iPod is the thing, and you're scrolling through and you're looking at all that, so we're listening to it, and we're walking, smoking a blunt, and we go to this typical spot where we always sit. It's like some steps, and it's kind of like narrow, and it splits the apartments. You could come through those steps to get to the other side of the apartment building, and he pulls out a gun, right? Pulls out a gun. He's like, man, check this out. I got this, blah, blah, blah. But I got you one too, right? Electrical tape, all that crazy stuff on it. And this one was like a little 32, or I might be thinking that wrong. But
and you're how old?
I was 16 at that point, yeah. And so I had this gun, and I'm like, man, what the hell am I going to do with this? I don't know. Bro, I ain't never shot a gun at that point. I ain't never shot a gun. Never had a gun in my hand. And I remember just I was like, man, I acted very grateful. I was just like, man, thank you, man. But inside, I was afraid.
Yeah.
Bro, I was afraid because
what's this mean?
What the hell's happening here, bro? Like, what do you want me to do? Like,
yeah.
So, me and him were really close. He never got me into anything that I didn't want to get myself into. You know what I mean? Like, I had his back, and I knew he had mine. And there was a lot of moments where he demonstrated that, and I did the same. In high school, I got kicked out of high school for him. I remember, that year, he'd come down the steps one day from a class, and I'm at lunch or something, and he comes into the lunch hall. He's like, bro, this white boy just called me a dirty N-word, blah blah blah, and I'm about to smash him. I'm like, no, I got you, right? So I'm like pointing him out, and he's coming down the step, and I ran into this dude, man. His name is Nick, and I ran into him years later.
Oh, but, really?
Yeah, man. He used to go into Shirley's where my mom worked.
I'm glad you brought up Shirley's. I had Shirley. I was like, I gotta get Shirley's in here at one point. I miss Shirley's, man. I miss Shirley's.
The best bacon,
egg, and cheese sandwiches with the half and half. Yes.
Man,
yes. Take me back. Take me back.
So good, bro. I would
take me back.
I would save money for that, man, just to go get those sandwiches.
R.I.P. Miss Shirley.
Good grief. Yeah, rest in peace, man. I remember we'll get into that. But so dang, I forgot so anyway, yeah, I see the dude, he points him out, and I beat him up in school. I crushed his whole dental pieces, and that got me kicked out of school completely. They were like, no way, you can't be doing that, you're done. And I never went back to school after that. Relly got to graduate, was that
North County or no?
That was Glen Burnie.
Okay.
Yep. I transferred from North County to Glen Burnie, and so yeah, I got kicked out of school for that. It was the end of my school career. I didn't have any intention of going back. I'm like, whatever, I get to be home all day. You did me a favor.
Yeah.
It was like
it's one of those. It's another green light. You know what I mean? Oh, you get to stay here. You do it here. Oh, get out of school. Okay, well, guess what? Now I just get to run, do whatever I want. Now,
bro, Glen Burnie was so bad. Let me tell you this. So, I was on the football team. We were actually good. Me, Relly, Stan, Zach was the quarterback. Bro, we actually had a good team this year. They had a constant losing seasons, right? and we had transferred to the school, and we were actually good, and it backfired, man. I mean, because we were good, I had moments I'll never forget. I had algebra, the worst thing to have first thing in the morning. Your brain's not ready for that at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Come on, man. So you're sending me to school. I'm going to algebra class. And I'll never forget my teacher. She's like, come here, we talked in the hallway. She's like, look, if you're going to come in here smelling like a pound of weed, don't even come. Just tell me you're here. And then go to the gym, right? And the gym was where my football coach was, right? And what I would do there was I was like, shoot, all I got to do is show up. Look, I got a C in algebra. I didn't do one piece of homework, didn't do one piece of classwork the whole year, bro.
They just didn't want to deal with you.
Exactly. She's like, you smell like a pound of weed. Everybody else is distracted. I'm a class clown. Go to the gym. I would go to the gym and just watch film and work out, right? But it's an enabler. It's a green light to, hey, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do here, bro.
Does coach know you're smoking weed at this time, or
yeah, bro?
But he doesn't care because you guys are good.
Bro, we would get so blazed. We would hit McDonald's before the games on a Friday night. Before the games, we'd hit McDonald's, crush some McDonald's, smoke a bunch of weed, go out on the field and play football.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And win, bro, like 42-14. And bro, it was it was wild, man. Like, and then there was also games where we got crushed, like Damascus High School. I'll never forget this one, man. They had this dude at running back that was just relentless. They crushed us like 57-8 or something like that game. But yeah, man, I mean, every game that year we were all blitzed out of our mind and full on McDonald's. So, but it's the green lights, man. It's those people that at the moments where you need to be disciplined, you're not getting the discipline that you need.
It's like that fork in the road where it's like you could go one way or the other, you know what I mean? And you think that someone in a more mature position would say, hey, like maybe I should try to guide this person or guide this guy in the right way versus just being like, you know what, I'll just turn the blind eye because maybe I'm getting a good athlete out of it. But it's like, hey man, if I just
jobs, man.
Not to blame him, you know what I mean? But it's just like things like that where it's like it could have gone so much different just if you were into the right person, you know what I mean? And they could have,
man. Yeah. And at that point, bro, if you think about it, like I don't know what the education system was like as far as like where your grade scores are and everything like that, but you're saving jobs too. You know what I mean? Like if you're in her class and you're flunking it and it's bringing the average down for that class, that teacher's in jeopardy. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Right? So it starts to become self-preservation. And it's like, hey, the kid's just a numbskull. I'm just going to pass them, you know? And it's like, I don't want to deal with it. My average is going down, etc. Whatever it is, it becomes self-preservation. And like I mentioned, at that time, that school had string of years just failure in athletics. And, this was actually a year where, we actually had things going
eyeballs on the program finally.
Yeah. But it's a job saver, man. Self-preservation.
So at 15, 16, you would say would be the age when you first got involved with like the gang, like hanging around the guys in the gang and criminal activities and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. So I got that gun. And I was with Relly. I was with Adam, my buddy Ant, another guy named T. Well, we were all together one night and we left the party and we were all strapped up. I mean, all four of us were strapped. 5 of us that were strapped, and I never thought I would use my gun at all. But it was the dumbest thing. I don't know why I ever had it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was like, oh, look at me, I got a gun, and I don't think I ever really scared anybody. I think people looked at me more of like a fool. Like, man, you're an idiot. Yeah. Maybe it scared people. I don't know. But when I think about it, I'm just like, if I looked at me back then, I would look at me like a fool. Like, I don't even want to know you. Yeah. Like, I don't even want to be friends with you. Why would I want to be a friend to that guy? That is just not attractive.
It's almost like an insecurity in a way of like when you're flaunting that, you know, like like you said, the tough guy, like, oh, do they think I'm cool, or am I scaring them, or whatever you want them to perceive, I guess, you know. But like you said, if you would look at yourself back then, you'd be like, man, like that ain't it.
It ain't it, man. It's not it. And, it's sad today because, everyone thinks it is. Like, that's the way to go. And it's just not. It's not the way to live a life, man. Not a real life. Not an authentic life. But anyway, we got into an argument with some guys, and Adam starts shooting. Pop, 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 pop. And we're stunned. We're stunned, bro. Like, I don't know what the hell is happening. We were all caught off guard. Like, we had no idea. Look, man. I mean, it was the craziest thing, and I remember the guy falling. He was getting into a Jeep, and the guy fell. He fell. That was the last thing I remember. We just all bolting away, and needless to say, man. From what I hear, after being released and everything like that, and finding out where some of these guys are, I think some of them are still on the run, man. Like, from some of the actions that they've done, and how that's even possible, I don't even know, man. Because you feel like if you've committed an attempted murder or any kind of crime at all in my life, I've always been caught. You know what I mean? It's like you're not getting away.
Yeah,
you always
eventually you'll get caught. You know what I mean?
You always get caught,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, you'll get caught slipping, especially because you're going to continue living that lifestyle.
It makes it difficult. Like, you can't get jobs. Bro, it's got to be a very hard life to be living. So anyway, that happened, and it was a cheerful thing, bro. We got back to the apartments. It was like weird, man. Like, why are you rejoicing over something so stupid? Now that I look back at it,
did you feel like that? Did you feel like that in that moment, or you're just saying, looking back now in retrospect, you're
looking
like,
back now, yeah. In the moment, it was euphoria. Yeah. It was like, man, you felt like adrenaline pumping. You felt like there ain't no one in the world can touch you. No one in the world can touch you, not even law enforcement. And you're just a stupid kid. But in the moment, bro, you're high up, your adrenaline's pumping. You're like, that was gangster, right? Like that's what gangsters do. Like, and it's the mentality of it all is so wild, man. It's so wild.
So 15, 16, that's about, I feel like, the time where we started hanging out and stuff.
Yep.
I know a lot of things happened in, that gap. I don't know what we want to go into detail wise, but what ultimately led to your arrest that got you put into prison, which came a few years later, right? It wasn't your teenage years. So
yeah,
if there's anything you want to touch on before that, feel free to. But if not, if you want to jump to that part and touch on that part of the story.
Yeah, man, I'm more than happy to. I was very tight with Jamie. Okay. I love that guy, man. I mean, I had a lot of love for him. I would have did anything in the world for him. But that was loyalty to me. That's the way I treated the people that were around me that I cared for. And it was blind loyalty, man. I mean, as you know, I wasn't afraid to fight. Admittedly, I think I was a pretty good fighter. I just wasn't scared. A lot of people were.
I mean, I should have led with this, but Josh is not a wrestler. But if you were to see Josh in real life, he looks like he could handle probably more than half the wrestlers on your roster right now. You know what I mean? So
I tell you, I tell my wife all the time, like, I'm 6'2". I see the scale. I'm 250. I'm like, man, I feel small as hell. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Always like, you're bigger than the average man. Just calm down.
You were big when I met you, man, and you're still big now. So I mean, you definitely do your thing when it comes to the gym.
Yeah, I love the gym, man. It's been a good release. But I had that loyalty, man, that was to my friends and to
a fault sometimes.
To a complete fault, man. And we went out that night, and he picked the fight, man. And he picked the fight with a guy that had a girlfriend, and for me, it was like I didn't care what Jamie did. I had his back. I never felt like he was wrong. I was like, that was the lifestyle we lived. You do whatever you want, man. I got you.
We were all like that.
That's the way we were. It was like, I got you no matter what. And in hindsight, it was the wrong thing to do. It was the worst thing I could have done. Worst or best. We got to the fight, and people with their phones, they take their phones out, they're recording everything. I'm 21 at this point, and they're recording it, and I remember seeing this lawyer when I got arrested. He come up, he's a public defender, and he's like, yeah, man, I got this video. The defense got this video of you, and I seen it, and I remember I knocked the dude out. He's laying on the ground. There was no reason at that point to run up and kick him in the face, right? There was no reason for that. But I'm drunk, I'm high, and I'm juiced up. I'm like adrenaline rolling, right? And it was just like, hey, out of all things on the recording, that's the only thing it got. That's the only thing people had recorded. Yeah. And it looked so bad, man. I mean, I watched it and I felt bad. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm beating that. At some point,
this was down after a night of you guys were hitting the bars and stuff down in the city.
Down in the city, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, very crowded Friday night, and I remember running
ruckus type of environment. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I remember running through the streets trying to get back to the car. Bro, I must have fell like 6 times. I was so drunk, bro. I was so drunk. I didn't know where the hell I was running. I was just running, and I'm hitting curbs. And more like the curbs were hitting me because, bro, I stepped off curbs, didn't even realize I was stepping, and just boom.
Going. Yeah.
And you hit the ground, you get up and you just keep going. And It was like, I swear, at least I remember like 6 times. And check this out, I could have got away. Got away, man. I got to the parking lot, and the 2 girls that we were with were telling me they got Jamie. They're like, they got Jamie. My dumb self decided
to go back.
I'm going back. These are cops. What the hell am I going to do? Right? So I'm like, I'm going back. I go back and I start cussing and blah, blah, blah. The cops, they pull my ass down too and get on the curb. Boom. Oh, pull the victims up. Yeah, he was there too.
Damn.
Dumb, man. The girls told me to go. They're like, yeah, they got Jamie, but go. I didn't want to hear that. I was like, no, they got Jamie. No. And that's the loyalty, man. That's the loyalty to a fault. And in the midst of all that, and what came out of it was the man, he became a snitch. He snitched on me. He took a better deal to turn his back and send me to prison is what it did. And that's just the honest, blunt truth. There's times where once I realized that it was very clear when I got out, I made bail. And when I got out, he didn't want to chat with me at all, man. He avoided me at every point. And I'm outside all the time. I was always on the stoop, just smoking a cigarette, whatever. I was always on the stoop. This man never came to me, man.
And anyone listening, they lived right across the street from each other.
Right across the street from me. Like, he dodged me, man. And I knew then, like, bro, snitching on me, he's just flipped on me. And this is a guy that I spent years with, man, and did a lot of dirt with, beat up a lot of dudes for, got into a lot of crap for. And not just because he chose to do it. I chose to do those things too. But it was blind loyalty. I had loyalty to the guy. But, even in prison, in jail, I remember we were walking the tier one day. Me and Jamie were doing what they call the track. You just do a loop inside central booking, right? Lights go out. Now, I've been in this situation before. Lights go out, you put your back to the wall, right? So we're walking, lights go out, I grab him, boom, push him up against the wall. He didn't know what to do at this point. Like, he's like, what the hell's going on? Like, lights are out, bro. Keep your back on the wall. Like, I'm there. Like, this is dangerous for us. Keep your back on the wall, man. So even then, I'm still looking out for the dude, and I'm just like, yeah, man. Thinking back, it's incredible. It's incredible how quick you can be blinded. But there's a lot of lessons learned through that time, man. I mean, prison was the greatest thing ever happened to me. You don't think you could take a shovel or a grave any deeper until you decide to continue to take matters in your own hand, right? And you realize that you're very capable of destroying your own life to the point of however bad you want to make it. And that's just the truth. Like, you can make your life as miserable and as hard as you want. And then you can make it as great and amazing as you want. And
with
depending
that same mind.
With the same mind, man. There's nothing there that can keep you from it but yourself. It's you. The only enemy is you versus you. And if you continue to go down a path that's destructive, it's going to lead you to a grave eventually. How quick that is or what way that is, it's completely up to you. But, in prison, I decided to join a gang. Now,
so before we get to prison, let's jump back. So you went back to the scene. They caught you. They pointed you out as the guy who kicked him while he was down. What happens to this guy, and then what ultimately happens to you afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, he had. I thought we were going down for murder. We sat in central booking.
Was he in shock trauma?
He was in shock trauma.
Okay.
Shock trauma, man. He had brain damage. Like, he was in really bad shape. And I remember the officers coming to us. We were in central booking, but we were still in the holding process because charges were like on the
They were still
scale.
adding. They were still adding more.
They were still adding. Like, is this attempted murder? Is this murder? Is he brain dead? What is happening?
Waiting to figure out what's going to happen with his condition.
Exactly. So it's like, how are we going to charge him? We're sitting there. I mean,
you thought your life was over, I would assume.
Thought my life was over, man. Thought my life was over. Hate to say it, bro. At that point, I didn't really care. It was like, whatever. It was street credit.
Was it
my mind, bro?
Like, this just popped in my head, but was there oddly or like eerily, like maybe a sense of relief that maybe like now that everything kind of culminated or added up to this point that like you kind of got not what you were looking for, but in some weird sense of like, hey, at least now I can't be out on that path still, I guess. At that moment, you're probably not thinking that, but I guess there's some sort of that. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you're saying. No, I thought,
because you're on such a destructive path at that point. It was like, what was going to stop you? That had to be it.
It had to be it.
Yeah.
You would think that had to be it. No, I felt more empowered in that situation. I was like, I chalked it up like this is the life I chose, I think. And I thought it gave me more street credit, man. I thought like,
so you still at that time, it wasn't registering for you.
It wasn't registering.
No.
The only thought in my mind, I just want a bunk, dude. I want to go to sleep. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't care about. I was like, I remember yelling at the COs, charge me whatever, man. Just put me in a damn cell. I want to go to sleep. Like, I didn't want to sleep on the benches. I was like, man, just put me. I want to go to sleep, man. Get me in a cell.
And I think that probably contributes to the mentality of like, now I'm living in what's going on right now at this moment, which is I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I don't care about the charges I just got or that guy so it's like
none of that.
Yeah. It's like a very, selfish, I guess, mentality at that time, like
it's all about me, man.
Yeah.
I was in it for me. It was my life. Nobody that I knew, nobody that I loved. Look, man, let me tell you this story. Me and Jamie were, and I'm sure you're probably familiar with this. Me and Jamie were, I was messing with Michelle at the time, and we're having a party, all that. I go upstairs. I'm ready to fall asleep. Jamie and Mike are still down there with some girls or whatever in the living room. And two people that I was beefing with in the neighborhood locally, it was a man and his girlfriend. And this beef happened in a bar, man. Like, the girl was hitting on me, and the guy just like walks up and doesn't say anything. He's just like looking at me, and I'm like, "Can I help you? Like, what do you want? What do you want? What's going on?" And then she tells me, "Oh, that's my boyfriend. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "You just we're having this like." Yeah. It got me into a bunch of stuff with them, right? So we're beefing constantly for about a week or two. They followed me home one day, right? Now, I didn't realize they followed me home, but they followed me home. And when they did that, it was a weekend. We're partying, all that. I go upstairs. Jamie and them still partying downstairs. These two people are breaking in through my window, my living room window, right? and they're halfway through the window. I hear Jamie, Josh, Josh, Josh. I run down the steps. I grab 2 empty bottles of 40-ounce Cobras. You remember the King Cobras?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They were the worst. They were the worst, man. But 2 40-ounce bottles of King Cobras, man, gone, right? They were empty. Yeah. And I see these people coming through my window, bro. They're like on my couch, and I see the guy. I didn't beat the girl up. You know what I mean? Right. I could, in some weird way, I was at least like, I don't even know how to say this, but it sounds so bad saying it now, but I was courteous, I guess, to the woman to not beat her up.
She got a pass.
she got a pass in my book. It was like, I can't beat her. So I beat him. You know, I'm just like, pop, pop, pop with the 40-ounce Cobras. Yeah. And I throw them off my front step, and I'm just stomping them, bro, like up under vehicles, stomping them. And he crawled up under my stepdad's truck. I was living right next door to my mom at this point, right? And as I'm stomping the dude, and he's crawling up under my stepdad's truck, the girl is stabbing me. Bop, bop, bop. Stab me up, man. Stab me in my head, stab me in my shoulder. And then finally, Jamie, I think, hit her with a baby gate or something. I don't know where he got that from.
Just whatever was readily available.
No, I don't know where he got a baby gate from, but he whacked her with a baby gate, knocked her out, right?
Damn.
And yeah, bro, I don't know where he got that from, but I remember, and this was, so she stabbed me up. I didn't feel it, right? But I started feeling like the blood's very warm, and you get the sensation of just like something's not right. And I started walking into the house, back into the house. And I make it to my bathroom, which, you know, those townhomes are straight back. Straight back's a bathroom. So you go straight back, and I just remember seeing my toilet, and then boom, that was it. Was out for 3 days, man. I lost so much blood. Yeah, I lost so much blood. Out for 3 days. Shock trauma, you know, University of Maryland. They had me there for 3 days. But you know what, bro? I woke up, and I'm handcuffed to the bed. There's a cop there. He's like, "Hey, man, how you doing? Are you all right? You feeling all right? You know what day it is? All this stuff." I'm like, I feel like I just took a nap. You know, I was out for 3 days, bro. Damn. Unconscious for 3 days. I lost that much blood. And I'm waking up, and the questions, all that stuff. Again, it's the street mentality, bro. I didn't snitch. And you know why I didn't snitch? Because if I snitched, that means I couldn't get them. They'd be in jail. I got to get back at them. I got to get them. You know what I mean? So they're on the street. They're free. I'm going to get them. They're in jail. I can't touch them. You know, and then you just didn't snitch. That's not something you did. Like, you grew up like, don't tattletale. Don't do that. Like, you just didn't do that. And, you know, so I didn't snitch. I was like, nah, I don't know the faces, all that. I don't remember anything. And that was my mentality. Was I'm going to find them. I'm going to get them. Yeah. And then it resonated with me when I got out of the hospital, I got released. I called my mom, right? And I was so pissed. I'm like, where the hell were you at? This is me bleeding out. I'm like probably 20 at this point, 20 years old, bleeding out, fighting for my life. You know, I'm fighting for my life. I lost a lot of blood. Not one person that I loved or said they loved me with their mouth was there. No one but a cop. Not the girl I was staying with, not Jamie, not my mom, not anybody.
Who got you there? Who found you to get you to the hospital?
Well, they were all witnesses to the ambulance. They called the ambulance, got me there. I got cold, man. I got cold. And, you know, when I joined the gang, I had no emotions, man. Life, everybody else's life didn't matter to me. It was the next mission, it was the next thing. And, you know, admittedly, I've caught charges for that. I went in with 5 years for the fight that I got into, the bar fight. And praise God. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll just say, so when you got sentenced, what was going through your mind at that moment?
I thought my life was over. I got 5 years, bro, at 21. And my thought was, my life is over. Now I look back and like, you stupid, goofy idiot. 5 years is nothing.
So you're thinking, my life's over. I'm about to go to prison. What are you what are you gearing yourself up for the next 5 years? Are you thinking I'm gonna be
The
just going
baddest.
crazy in here,
No,
or you
I
just
had
didn't care, or what?
I had all plans to. This is what I told myself. I'm gonna be the biggest gangster in the prison system. People are gonna. I enter a jail. I enter a prison. They're gonna be like, that's Jay. Like that's the name I went by. That's Jay. Like that's Jay. Don't like. They were gonna know me the moment they see me or somebody said my name. Like that's the way I approached it. It was. I was already unafraid. I didn't care. I didn't think I was gonna live long anyway. So for
Now it's
me,
just the next level of it, which is
yeah,
being in there. Which, I've like we talked about, I've been arrested, maybe a handful of times, maybe 4 or 5 times. Been to jail, been to central bookings in Baltimore, Jennifer Road, but I've never been to prison. So that's a whole nother experience. But I can tell you just from the things I've seen and bookings and stuff that they're animals, bro. And
animals, man.
it's like unless you want to live like an animal and you want to be in that environment, you'll realize real quick whether it's for you or it's not for you. And it's just like you gotta either get the fuck out of that shit, or you're gonna be a product of that. And
You're gonna be a product of it.
And guess what? The wheel keeps turning and it doesn't care about you.
Yeah, man.
So,
And
yeah,
I fell into that, bro. I fell into that. I got into a gang, and let me just put this out there, because every time I tell my testimony and I'm able to share this, people have the worst perception of hearing this. But everything you see in the movies, everything you see or hear about that, it's a complete lie. It's garbage. You're not just going to jump into a gang because you're afraid. That doesn't happen. Now, if the only way that happens, and crazy to think this, but you can become a Muslim, and that's technically a gang. I mean, the prison system looks at them as a gang, and you can take a shahada, is what they call it, and become a Muslim, and it's a massive gang. That's the way they are. They watch out for one another.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they want to do it. That's on them. But they handle it as a gang. They're not a religious organization whatsoever. Now, to join an actual gang, Bloods, Crips, DMI, all that other stuff, you better be putting in some work. And if you don't, listen, you ain't just going to walk in there because you're scared. They don't accept people that way. I mean, bro, we had background checks. We had so many things. Standard SOP, a standard of operations that you had to go through. You have to go through to be vetted, to even be considered, to be walking around and work out. Bro, you start off as what they call like a gang I was a part of was you're a pup. You're a pup. You're not even off the porch yet. You need to just be around us, and you're almost like I don't even know how to explain it, man. You're just so low level. You're so low level. You're not even
level. Yeah, like not even
entry level
yourself yet. Yeah.
Yep. And so you have a guy that's above you that kind of brings you into it, and he sponsors you in a way, and you work out with them, you eat with them, you're with them 24/7, and when stuff hits the fan, you put in work, and that's what you do, and that's how you earn your way in, and so. Everybody's perception every time I tell the story is, oh, because you're white, oh, because you're afraid. Listen, here's the real reason why I was interested in the gang. Number one, the gang that I got involved with started in our neighborhood in South Baltimore. Number two, I seen how white people were treated in prison, and it is not pretty. You're a chump in there until you show someone else otherwise. And so when I found someone or people that was integrated, it wasn't just all whites. There's black people, there's all kind of people in this gang, but they stood, majority of them were white, but they stood their ground. They weren't afraid. And for me, I respected that. I'm like, that's what I speak to. I live that. I'm not afraid. And I did that. I showed that time and time again. And I clicked up with them, and I remember when I got initiated, we had a war with the Murder Inc. at the time. And, that was such chaos, bro. You want to talk about the hardest thing to do is to actually commit stabbings, bro. That is another level than just pulling a trigger. I mean, that is so close. You feel every bit of it. Like it's a pop that happens, that occurs when you do that to somebody. And, it's so intimate, and it takes such a person that has lost touch with complete reality, man, and emotions.
No remorse.
No remorse, no care for people. I remember doing those things and earning my bones, what they say, was like this. I'm on my way to be that gangster I was talking about. I'm on my way here. And through time in there, I think 4 years into it, I think I started realizing that I spent more time sitting on lockup than I actually do being free. And, I don't know why, but man, God blessed me so much with great people and people that I never expected to have good relationships with. One of them is your wife and you. I mean, you guys came to visit me a few times, man, and
I was you remember that.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, those things I cherish those things, man, because what happens when you go to prison and you're sentenced to time, I had 5 years, but I quickly ran it up to 15 and a half years. Ended up spending 9.5 years in prison total. But during that time, man, you just think the world forgets about you. You don't hear from anybody. You're writing letters. You're writing all these things. You're calling, no answers, all this stuff. It's like, man, you've dropped off the face of the earth. You're a scumbag. Nobody cares about you. You feel so bad about yourself, man. And it gets you, bro. Like, people kill themselves in there, and that's real because of that loneliness that they feel. I remember a guy that he was on the top tier and tried to hang himself on an electrical cord, right? And I'm on the tier. This dude jumps off the tier trying to hang himself. The electrical cord, I'm saying, will hold you. So the freaking thing snaps, and he breaks both his legs, but it's those crazy things. Like, I remember another dude, he's cutting himself and playing with his feces and rubbing all over the walls. Like, you see some of the most wildest things in prison. I remember a dude dying over a gang war, laying out their dead body in the yard for everyone to see for hours and hours and hours, bro. Not like immediate, he's got to get to the morgue, none of that.
They just left him there?
16 hours, bro. Left the body just laying there.
Holy shit.
Real stuff, and everybody in the yard could see it. The buildings were surrounded in such a way everybody facing that side of the yard can see it, and bodies. It's just like, I was talking to a buddy today. He's getting into correctional officer, and I was giving him tips and everything. And that is a tough job, man. But I don't want to get off subject. I
actually spent time with a coworker of mine. He was in the corrections facility for 27 years, and thinking about it, he was, I guarantee, a CO at Hagerstown while you were there. I don't know if he probably was involved with you, because I think he did more like dealing with like the vans and like pickups,
transportation,
like maybe that kind of stuff. But he was there for a long time and told me like a lot of some similar kind of stories like you were just mentioning. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And there's not a whole, and again, back to the movie thing, like, it's not a whole bunch of people getting raped in prison. Like, that does happen. I did witness somebody, unfortunately, it's the most disgusting thing in my opinion. People talk about, are you homophobic and all that? And bro, I'm going to tell you right now, absolutely. I'm against that 100%. Male shouldn't be with a man, should be man and woman. That's my belief. Until you see a man get his butt taken by another one, I think you would think differently. You would feel a hell of a lot different if you're one of those people that are like, let love be love and all that. I'm not for that. I don't stand for that. That's not me. I've witnessed these things, and it terrorizes people. It destroys people that don't want that happening to them. So I'll just speak against that. I'm 100% against that. But I've witnessed those things. I've seen people have that happen to them. It's the most horrendous sight. There's blood everywhere. It's just terrible, man. I mean, the things that go on in the prison system, it bothers me because I think about what's happening now in today's government and, the ICE facilities, all the stuff you see in the news, right? And it bothers me because I'm like, where the hell's the Maryland governor in Hagerstown? Where's he? He's down in this other country fighting for one person And he's being better taken care of than the people in Hagerstown and Cumberland and ECI and RCI, the old jail, the new jail. Like, bro, not one time have I seen a public official in 9.5 years. I still talk to a brother who has 3 life sentences and been in jail for 27 years, has never seen a government official walk through a prison system he's been in. Not one time in 27 years. But yet you got this guy flying to El Salvador to save somebody. It's disturbing, bro. And there's things going on right in his backyard that you don't care not 1 ounce about. It bothers me because it touches my heart, bro, because I've been there and I lived it. And I talk to these brothers every week, sometimes every day. They call me constantly and we have conversations and we talk about what's happening in there. And it's disgusting, man. They're down 23-1 since COVID happened. They have locked the jail system down, bro. There's no, 23-1. These are dudes that are not on solitary confinement. They are supposed to be free, technically. 23 hours in the cell, 1 hour outside the cell. It was that way when I was released in 2021, and it's still that way now in 2025, and COVID is well past us, man. So the treatment of the people in there is just not right. I'm a big proponent of speaking against that and giving those people a voice because, bro, it is criminal the way they treat people in there. They're still people, and it still messes with you mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And it fires me up because, I've been there, man. I know what it's like, and it's tough enough being in a cell 23-1, let alone just having a few hours of freedom, being told when to eat, being told when you can shower, being told when you can be outside to be free or make a phone call. Bro, it's hard enough. The fact that you lock them in a cell for 23 hours a day with someone else, man, it makes it even harder, man. I mean, it's not easy. I'll tell you, I don't think there's been a week yet that I've gotten a call from my buddy Will that he hasn't told me someone's been stabbed up. Every week, somebody died, somebody been stabbed up. They're on lockdown.
That's what I was going to ask. So you do still stay in touch with people that you were locked up with?
I love those guys. That's my loyalty, man. That's my loyalty, right? I mean, those guys were crucial in my life when I was in there. Community is huge. And, when I was gangbanging, the point when I finally got out, by the grace of God, my uncle had reached out to me, man. This is the biggest part of my testimony. My uncle reached out to me, and he was telling me about Jesus, man. He started telling me about Jesus. Here I am, gangbanging on solitary confinement. He's talking to me about Jesus. And listen to me, I didn't care. You know why? It's the first communication I had with the outside world in years, bro. Like, I remember writing my mom a letter saying, I'm going to kill myself if you don't answer me.
Yeah.
Like, literal. And I had planned this out. I said, I'm going to kill myself this day if you don't answer me. I gave her, 2 weeks because I figure, mail, everything. And I get a letter from my uncle. The day I planned this, I'm like, I'm going to hang it up. I'm done. My life was so miserable, man. I mean, I just felt like a dirtbag. I felt like the worst of the worst. I was tired of it. I got sick of it, bro. I got sick of it. And even in the gang life, you think you have brothers, but you're sitting behind the door and you don't hear from none of them. You realize you're very alone. You're not. You're dedicated to something that's not dedicated to you. And my uncle sent me a letter out of the blue, bro. I haven't talked to him, never sent him a letter. Just sent me a letter out of the blue, and I still got it to this day. And I probably should look at it, man, as a reminder just to be grateful. But he sent me this letter. He's telling me about Jesus. He's apologizing to me. He's like, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I gave up on you. I'm sorry that your life has turned out this way. And I want you to know there's another way. And he's telling me about Jesus, telling me where to start in the Bible, pick up a Bible, read John. And at the time, we had this thing called the library, a guy with a cart, and he's got the books and all that. And he's coming around. I'm like, hey, you got a Bible, you got a Bible. And so he gives me a Bible. First half of the Bible's ripped out, man. I mean, people use it to smoke, tobacco and weed with all the time. So first half of that's ripped out. I was like, man, all I did was read John. I just started chewing. And it's just me in the cell. This is like I had 18 months in the cell, just me. And a this is about the 11th month into my 18-month sentence of solitary confinement. And I think that same year, you guys have come to see me at that point when I was still in lockup. And man, I probably looked so bad at that point, dude. I can't remember, but
I remember you showing us like you had your palm tatted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can cut this out if you want, but I remember you. So you sent us a letter, and you were asking us to send you or you were gonna have us send Suboxones or something in. And I remember reading that letter, and I just looked at Brittany. I'm like, look, we gotta keep our distance now, because it's like if we do something like that, then we'll be right there, right along with you. You know what I mean? So it's like, but like that just contributes to the mindset. You know what I mean? Because you're in there, and it's like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get what I gotta get. Yeah, I mean, it's like
money,
survival. Like you're gonna
survival.
And I get
survival,
that.
money, man.
But you know, it's like one of those things, like I said, where we had to distance ourselves. But it's, I'm sure you understand that, and it's like,
oh, better for it.
Yeah,
bro. What that does is you start to realize now, as I've been, I'm 35 now, almost 35. You stop the green light. You stop the green light. You know what I mean? Like we talked about all those people that were enablers, bro. Out of all the people that we hung out with, you were, in my opinion, always the one more buttoned up than most, than the rest of us, at least. So good on you. I needed that, right? Like, bro, what you did was right for your family, and that in turn helped me out as well. And God's involved in all that. Look, I'm not a big believer of coincidences. I truly do believe that things do happen for an absolute reason, right? I'm a firm believer in that. I've seen it come true so many times in my life. And, when I'm sitting in there and I'm reading John and I'm reading about this Jesus, all I can think about is, how the hell do I get out of this gang without being stabbed up, killed, or having to kill somebody? And I remember my prayers, man, were, Lord, I want out. I need to be out. Please don't let me kill somebody, and please don't let me die. I was more than willing to come off a lockup and be stabbed up, be banked, whatever, to get out. I was more than willing. I knew what it took to get out. Yeah. But I needed to get out. But I knew there was two ways out. I said, if I have to stab somebody, don't let me kill him. If I have to get stabbed up, don't let me die. And the stabbed up part, I was hoping people feared me enough that they're like, bro, just walk. Like, you're an animal anyway. We're not going to sacrifice that, And ultimately, I had a plan to just go at him anyway, right, in my mind. So I had a buddy next door that was actually not a gang member, but he had a phone, bro. I'm talking about this phone. This phone was like this big, but I don't know if you can see that, bro. Yeah. It's like it's so small, and he's coming off lockup. He's going home, right? And I'm like, oh man. So we've talked for months and months at this point, and he slides me the phone underneath my door. Game changer. I'm like, oh, I got the phone. So I start calling everybody. I call my mom. She's working at the bar. Now, bar she's working at, the leader of our gang at the time was there shooting pool. Well, I told my mom what's happening to me. I'm like, I need to get out of this gang. I don't want to die. I don't want to kill nobody. I need, I found, like, the Lord has saved me at this point. I've been saved. I just don't know how to get out of this. And my mom's like, call me back. Call me back. And I call her back, and I get on the phone with this guy, and I'll just give him his initials. It's SB. And I'm talking to him. He's like, man, I know your mom since, I was 16. I love her. I'm going to do this for you. If you come back, I can't help you, right? Because there's a lot of guys getting jumped out the gang and then putting in work to get back in. And he was giving me a pass, man. I just didn't know if I'd take his word at it.
You're still thinking there's like a catch behind it,
I'm thinking, like, I need to watch my back. And he gives me a pass. He says, bro, you're out. Stay out. If you come back, I can't help you. I took it. I was like, hey, I know this guy. I actually have him tattooed on my back, and I've never met him. And because the guy who brought me home, brought me into the gang, his pops was this guy, SB, who brought him home. So I'm like third in line at this point, right? And So I'm like, that's gold. I'm gonna take that. And so I took it. I got off, and I just didn't affiliate with them guys. Didn't talk to them. Didn't eat with them. Didn't work out with them. I'm watching them, but I'm still doing my thing. And um, I actually the one time I actually got good confirmation was I was in a chow hall, and I see a savage named Junior, and tattoos all over his face. I know he's a savage. I went to war with him. I know he's a savage. So I'm like, it's going down, man. It's going down. Like he knows I left the gang. It's going down. So I walk out the chow hall, and I stand there outside the chow hall door, wait for him to come out. And he comes out. I'm like, hey, what's up, Junior? He's like, oh, what's up, Jay? Talking to me, having a conversation. We're walking. I'm like, hey, when things popping, let's do it now. I'm not going to let you get me behind my back. Be a man. Be a man about it. I know, like me and Junior had a connection where I knew he's a savage. He knows that he's going to get the same from me. But I didn't want no, scared BI stuff happening. Like, I'm above that. Attack me, let me know it's coming. See me. Don't do it behind the back. So I very much approached it in that sense of like, hey, bro, I'm ready to go. What's up? Like, how are we going to handle this? But his confirmation really is what settled my soul, man. It was like, I really am good. Like, his word was golden, and I needed to take that. If it came from Junior, then I know it was solid. So I took that, and I ran with it, man. And at that point, I'm on this tier with a ton of Christian brothers, man. I mean, probably the most Christian brothers I've ever met on a tier at one time. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, man. Lifelong relationships. I talk to these guys every week, dude. I love these dudes with all my heart, man. And I pray for these dudes. Some of these guys are getting out this year, which I'm super excited about. I had a brother who I was blessed enough to bring to the Lord and change his life, and he's getting out this year. Bro, I went into this tier. I started getting involved in the church. Next thing you know, I'm preaching to the guys I was gangbanging with, man. Preaching to these guys. I'm preaching the word of God to these guys, man. Like, they used our service for a gang meeting, right? MS-13, all those guys. It was a gang meeting. Everybody in the prison could come together as one to meet at our church. So that's what they did. I knew this, but I'm able to preach and reach those guys. Like, bro, I've been there. I've been where you are. Bro, I can't tell you the reaction that I got from these guys. I got letters from these guys. So grateful for where I am and how I took on the faith and the faith that took me on, and I've been saved. And they love seeing me live my life out that way. And all that's confirmation, right? All that was confirmation that the Lord had drastically changed my life, man. I mean, here I was, a guy that was emotionless, didn't care for life, didn't care for anyone's life, let alone my own, drugging, Suboxone using.
And this is in prison.
In prison. K2, Molly, all that. Like, I was lost, bro. I was so lost, man. I was lost, hallucinating. I remember just punching a dude because I thought he was just standing next to me, man. And I just punched him. Like, I punched him.
What were some of the hardest habits and mindsets while you were in there that you had to try to break free from?
Oh, man. Depression is the hardest thing in there. You feel so alone in there, man. You feel so alone in there. Yeah. And most people won't admit it, but I'm not a tough guy. I'm gonna admit it. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I think even when the Lord had saved my life and I was living a different way, I still struggle. And as a Christian man, I still struggle to this day, man. I still lust. I still have sinful natures. I still have a drink every now and then. I still do sinful things that are against the will of God. And I fight with that, man. There's some days that are better than others, some months, some years, some weeks that are better than others. But I'm admittedly a person who is in constant battle. And I always tell people all the time, it's the hardest life I ever chose to live, because living out God's word and trying to do it to such a way that isn't fake to the world. And I had this revelation, man, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I told at our men's group, I said, Christians have become this walking, talking Facebook. We've become walking, talking social media. And it's disgusting because all people think about when they hear the word Christian is you should be perfect. how dare you sin? How dare you do anything that goes against the will of God? Like, how can you preach this? And people have this image of you should be perfect,
which pushes people away from
the faith. And so that's the thing I struggle with. I tell these men, these are men in their 60s, their 50s, their 40s, have lived a life more than me. And I'm preaching to them, telling them, bro, we need to stop posting our best selves on a Sunday for an hour and a half. We need to start being real. Bro, I had an encounter with the Lord 2 weeks ago on a Sunday where I'm living in sin. I'm living in sin. I know I am. And the worship songs are going, I can't sing. I can't sing, bro. Like, the words can't even come out of my mouth because I'm so bogged down with my sin and the way that I'm living and the fakeness that I was dealing with at the time. I had to turn around and find somebody. I had to leave the chapel. I look at my uncle. I said, I need you to come pray for me right now, man. And I take him out there. And the Bible talks about confess your sins to one another when you're burdened and heavy laden. I take him out and I'm like, I'm just tears, bro. I'm sinning. I'm having lustful thoughts. These things I'm wanting to act on, right? And I'm just so gripped by, I can't even sing the words, bro. Because when I worship and I praise and I sing, I feel those words, man. A person who wrote that felt the presence of God when they were writing it. Some of those words are so beautiful that when they're coming out my mouth, I believe them. I'm there, like I feel those things. And I couldn't do it this Sunday. I'm like, I'm sick of being fake. I'm sick of showing up on a Sunday, acting like all is well when it's not. I'm a mess. And there's 50 people in the chapel with me, 60 people in the chapel with me. I know they feel the same way. There's no way you're telling me that all those people are so buttoned up that they're good. Yeah. Like, bro, it's not reality, right? And so for me, I've been so driven to drive, and I think this is what to attract the younger generation. For me, you have to be real about what it is when it comes to being a Christian. You will not do everything right. You will get a lot of things wrong more than you'll get them right. You just pray that they're not detrimental to your life, to your family, and to others, right? You just have to continually, bro, and this is a thing that really gets me discipline. Discipline is the key to not just the Christian lifestyle, but your lifestyle in general. Routine has been the key. Yes. Prison has given me a routine. When prison gave me a routine, I fell in love. I was like, this is great. Now I have a purpose in life. I know what I'm doing every single day. It's not just going about willy-nilly trying to live. I got plans now. I got things to do. Structure, man. And when you're not given that in life, man, you don't know what the freedom really is until you experience that structure. And, for me, I credit prison so much, bro. It's not a place you go to expect to be rehabilitated. They don't do that. It's a place that you go that you need to rehabilitate yourself. Yeah. It removes you from the outside world and allows you to work on yourself.
Strips you from everything.
Strips you from everything, man. And you're solely relying on everything else. And it did that for me, man. It stripped me from everything, and I was relying on God. And he provided for me, man. I didn't go hungry. We were Thanksgiving time, Christmas time, fed the whole tier at points, man. Like, we were blessed to the point where we had so much in abundance in food as Christians. We fed everybody. Muslims, I didn't care what denomination you were. Everybody on a tier on a holiday had food in their cell, man, from our commissary. We were blessed such a way like that, man. Like 96 people were eating our food, man. Like, yeah.
How do you think people both in prison and outside of prison have responded to the change that you've instilled into your life?
It's funny, man. That's a good question for my aunt and uncle, man. I think they were such a part of my life that I lived with them from when I was like 19 for like 8 months or something, and 10 months. And I screwed that living situation up.
When you first got out, right?
Yep. Yeah. And I screwed that up because I ended up sleeping with a girl that was in the church or something like that. And they found out and they kicked me out. And, but anyway, So they really got to see that side of me, and then they got to see the side of me that's been saved. And they showed up, man, 2-hour drives, every month. They came and seen me relentlessly, bro. Like, I can't tell you how much communication and just being in touch with the person in jail, in prison, really means to somebody. And that's why what I took from it, it's just the importance of that, to know that someone out there cares. It lets you live another day. You take it, let me live for another week. I used to take that like, man, I used to get out that phone so happy, bro. I get out that visit so happy. It would carry me for weeks, man, at a time. So joyful that I had people that cared. And that's why I still talk to my brothers today. I didn't want to be one of those guys that said, yeah, I'll stay in touch. And then you call them and they never answer. They never write you. They never do any of that. I'm not that guy, bro. I talk to these dudes every week. There's at least 8 of them that I have kept constant contact with. And I've been out of prison now for 4 years, back since July 2nd of this year. So, it's been 4 years and I haven't.
Call me wrong by saying this if I am, but I feel like there's a part of you that feels like you have to carry on for some of them that, like, in there that may never get out, that may have helped
3 life
you.
sentences. One of my guys has 2 life sentences. Another guy has 52 years. Like, these are long time. A lot of them, most of them they'll never see the streets, man. They'll never see the streets again. Bro, they brought me through a lot of hard times and struggles, man.
Did you believe when you first got out that were you still self-doubting yourself on your new path? Like you said, you kind of didn't really do the right thing maybe at first, or you're still kind of, trying to find your way, I guess. But was there still self-doubt when you got out? Did you feel like
when I got out,
go back?
I thought I was about to take the world by storm. I thought I was going to be the next Billy Graham. Hey, dude, I was like, I was so full of spirit. I'm like, I'm going out there. I'm about to preach this thing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I was like, I'm Billy Graham, man. Like,
yes.
In my mind, like, I even had a YouTube channel where we were doing things for at least a year. I'm pushing preaching out, and I'm just like, bro, I was full blown. Like, this is my path. I'm going to preach the word of God. And as time goes on, responsibilities build. I met my wife, bro. I met my wife 2 weeks out of prison.
Wow.
Check this out. 2 years before I got out of prison, my aunt tells me, start praying for a wife. I started I read Proverbs 31. Talks about the ideal wife, right? And I'm reading this and I'm like, there's no woman in this world that lives this way. Like, no way this exists ever.
Right.
And I'm praying it foolishly, thinking like, nah, this ain't going to happen. I'll never find a woman like this. And 2 years, I'm praying this prayer. I write down in my Bible the name of my daughter. I was in prison, bro. I come across this name. Her name's Italia, my daughter's name. I'm going to put, that's going to be her name. That's my daughter's name. And I put that in my Bible. I wrote that down. And I wrote the day that I wrote it down, August 18th. And that was 2 years before I got out. That was 2018. And 2019. And so I wrote that down in my Bible. Like, that's going to be her name. And 2 years out, I get out. And 2 weeks later, I'm at a Bible study, and I don't know anybody in the room but my aunt and uncle. And I see this girl, and she's talking about her mission trips to Africa and how she's serving the Lord and all these things and incredible stuff. All I could look at was like, I probably was drooling like an idiot, It's like female,
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, just dumbfounded by this person. I'm like, I gotta know her, man. Like, I gotta get to know her. And I got really close with her uncle, and he teamed us up without me knowing to do a bike trip with her parents, and we're on the C&O Canal, and her uncle almost runs me off the side of the road with his bike and down a hill into the ditch, and I'm like freaking out. And I remember asking her, man, I'm like, can I get your phone number? And she was like, yeah. I'm expecting it right there. Like, oh, sweet. Nothing. She didn't give it to me.
You're like,
so I'm like, what the hell's happening? I'm like, okay. She said, yeah. So we get back to the car. We're heading home. And I'm like, is she going to give it to me now? What's happening,
what's
right?
happening?
Bro, we got all the way to her house. And I'm saying goodbye. And I'm like, her dad's standing there, right? And I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, I got to get her phone number. I already asked, right? So I look at him. I said, Barry, can I get your phone number, man? Got her dad's number.
Well, I'm gonna get in there one way or another.
I got her dad's phone number. And I was like, oh, by the way, can I get yours as well, right? So
the slick.
I
I was just trying to get everybody's numbers here, you know.
All y'all, can I get all y'all? Yeah. So I was like, boom, and slid that in and got it. And it was off to the races at that point. I knew she was going to be my wife, man. I mean, the first conversation, I probably freaked her out. I told her, we were just talking about this, and I freaked out. I was like, scaring me, but I think, you're going to be my wife. And I was just that confident, man. And 4 months later, I proposed to her, and 6 months later, we were married. You know, so that's just how, again, constant prayer, faith, having confidence that those things were set in front of you for a reason, and you're attracted to these people for a reason, and knowing what they are, knowing what your prayers are, knowing how the Lord works, and trusting in that. Man, I was convinced that's my wife. Like that's her.
Do you
and
feel
we've
like
been.
it's easier for you to recognize those people that maybe put in your life when they're put in your life when you're constantly seeking it? You know what I mean? Like you said, you knew she was your wife. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, specific prayers, man. I mean, I prayed for good men. I said, Lord, when I get out of here, I've had great men in here in prison. He surrounded me with good Christian men. Lord, I need that when I get out. Please surround me with the same. And he's done that, man. Men that, God bless him, rest in peace, Tom Page. I just seen his widow 2 weeks ago, Phyllis. And, this guy looked at me. I was, 2 weeks out of prison. And I was with my uncle. We're borrowing Tom's truck to go get a cement mixer. And Tom looks at me. He's like, man, you need a job? Because he's like, you're big. He says, you're big. Do you need a job?
Need a laborer. Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, I need a job. Like, and bro, he had a construction business. I learned a lot from that business and learned a lot from him. And he invested in me so much time and effort and lessons in my life. And I was very grateful for that, man. He gave me a realization that people don't have this perception of me that tattooed up and this massive.
That you kind of cut yourself down before even putting yourself in the situation, thinking, oh, I'm tatted, I'm this and that. That's how they perceive me.
That's how they perceive me.
You're beating yourself up before you even.
I'm beating myself up, man. And here's a person that's just like, I don't see your tattoos. I don't see that you went to prison. I don't see that you're big. I see that you're willing to work, and I want to help you, achieve your goals. So that to me changed my whole perception on people. Like, damn, this guy doesn't care that I've been to prison. They don't care that I'm tattooed. He just cares that I work hard and do it well. And so that changed.
Like a clean slate.
Yeah, man. And it changed everything in my mind. I'm like, wow, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I can do anything I want. It doesn't matter if I'm out of prison. I can achieve any goal that I want to achieve. It doesn't matter if I miss 9.5 years of a portion of life where so many others have been able to enjoy. It doesn't matter. Now, God has put me in a position where, I became a real estate agent. I've worked hard to do this and do it well. I got a wife. We've been married for 3 years now. We got a little girl who just turned 2. We own a car. We own 2 cars. We own a house. Like, we have things that, if you'd have told me when I got out of prison, are you going to be able to do this in 4 years? Probably would have laughed. Like, hell no, bro. Ain't no way that's realistic.
Yeah.
No way, man.
It's a hell of a a jump, like you said, just for anybody that's for 4 years to do all that, you know what I mean? But like you said, to come out of prison and hit the ground running, how do you feel like what were some of your first steps after being released from prison? Like you said, you met your wife, you were I guess getting yourself out there, getting a new job. How did that work for you? And then how did you get into real estate afterwards?
Yeah, it wasn't easy, man. You get out of prison, they give you $50 out the door.
Nobody probably wants to hire you, right?
Nobody wants to hire you, man.
Because you're a felon. You're a felon. Yeah.
I'm a felon. Yep. And a lot of people they just don't hire you, regardless of transformation. Anyway, they send you out the door, $50, no ID, no birth certificate, no social security card, nothing to prove you are who you say you are, right? So I remember for about a 2-month span, and God bless again, Tom Page allowed me to be a part of his business and found a way to pay me under the table until I got my ID and everything situated, right? I had my license and stuff before, and I went to the DMV 3 times. I go to the DMV to try to get an ID. And when I show up there, the first 2 times, they tell me the same thing. You need your social security card and a birth certificate, or you need one or the other. I said, well, I can't get one or the other without an ID. Excuse me. I had nowhere to turn. I'm like, how do I make this happen? And the second time I went, they pull up my driver's license. I'm like, that's me right there. That's me. It's like, yeah, I see that, but you don't have anything to prove that it's me. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Look at the picture. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Right.
I was in prison for 9.5 years. How am I supposed to, So anyway, third time I come back, I got blessed. The lady was like, oh, yeah, this is you right here. I'll get you the ID right away. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man.
It's like, are y'all playing with me?
2 months, bro. I was without an ID, without a social security card, without a birth certificate.
You can't do anything without an ID these days,
Nothing, man. And bro, let me tell you this. The percentage of people, the return rate for prison in the first year is 88%.
But think about what you just said. All those things that you needed that are vital to you being able to succeed in society, they don't even allow you to have that. They do nothing to help you in your situation to stay out of prison, because guess what? It's all about money. You can't get an
ID.
It's all about money. So if you keep coming back, they keep making money.
They keep making money, man. And it's 88% return rate. And every time you sit in there each day, money piles up, man. And they don't care. They know who you are. But once you're out, it's like, hey, no one needs to know who you are. Come on back. Bro, I watched a guy get out of prison, and he was about 6 cells up from me. And 3 months later, he gets locked back up, right back in the same cell. I was like, bro.
Talk about, that's got to be like the worst feeling.
The worst. And nobody feels bad for you because you had a shot that most of those people in there will never have.
And you probably hear the CEOs probably say that kind of stuff all the time.
Yes.
They know which ones will be back. They know which ones will be back.
Oh, they do. I had multiple conversations with young men. What are you going to do when you get out? I'll get a gun, man. Get a gun, get some drugs. My homeboy's going to put me on. I'm going to just get back on. I'm going to get back on.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you just did 6 years. What are you talking about?
You don't get that back.
Get that back. You're just going to end up like another statistic, man. You're going to end up dead. They don't care, bro. Yeah. It's they don't see any way out of life. Yeah. That's the only way they see. And
sometimes you're a product of your environment and what you come up around, and it comes down to you. And if you don't want to change, you don't want to break that habit or mindset or whatever that you're doing, it's like no one's going to do it for you, so they'll just keep going.
And it also demonstrates just the failure of our prison system, man, to rehabilitate the people. I mean,
like you said, you don't get rehabilitated in there.
No. Nah, they don't give you nothing, man. You get nothing.
How do you define success now compared to how you defined it in the past?
That's a good question, man.
I'm trying to do my
bro. That's a good question because for me, I'm always hungry. I always feel like there's more to my life that I can offer to other people. Like my success isn't dependent on what I personally can accomplish and accumulate. I don't see it as, you get this, you get that, and that's how you define success. I think for me, it's how many people's lives positively can I touch, because I've touched so many people's lives negatively that's success for me. If I can leave a positive imprint on people's lives, man, including young people, I think that's where it really needs to start, because once you start to get older and you've formed your personality, you've formed who you are as a person, it really starts to get hard to really help. Not that it's impossible, but it just gets hard to really make an imprint or impact on people's lives at that point. But the youth is where I really focus a lot, where I really want to focus a lot of my ministry at and my life on, because they're worth saving. And I remember what it was like being that kid where I'm around nothing but bad influences. Well, what's it like when a bad influence comes back and they're here to be positive for them and hear a positive message? You see it all the time with athletes. Like, these young kids are so enamored with an athlete coming around, a celebrity. Oh my gosh, Lamar Jackson, whatever. Visiting my neighborhood, they're enthusiastic because they see somebody who's accomplished and cares enough to come back and try to contribute their time and efforts to them. For me, I don't have to be a celebrity to do that. I can do that no matter what. Just show them that I care enough to come back and contribute in some positive way. Give them a different outlook on their life. Introduce them to something different that they're not used to being introduced to, right? And so for me, sports has always been that one thing that I've always loved. I've been an athletic guy my whole life. You find freedom in that. There's a lot of struggles that come with sports. I've chose golf now. Golf has been my thing. It's an individual game. It's a mental game. It's a spiritual game. It's a course by course, hole by hole type of game. And if it can get to you, and it can get to you spiritually, get to you mentally. But the goal is to fight through all that stuff, and that adversity that you face as an individual, to overcome it, man. It's an amazing thing, and it keeps you coming back. It keeps you hungry. But for me, success is the what I leave behind. What are people going to say about me when I'm gone and dead and gone? And I'm praying for good things, that the young people I'm able to help, or the people I come across in life, man, they get to hear my testimony. Maybe it's through this podcast. Maybe it's one person like we talked about. They get to hear this, and they spent this hour, 42 minutes listening to me ramble and talk about my life and answer your questions. My prayer is that one person's life, they just realize it's not over. It's not over. I don't care if you're at your end of your rope. I don't care if you have zero money in the bank. Guess what? You can change it. You can change that, man. And, I'm not a guy that has it all together. I don't have all the answers. I fight and struggle every day with sinful thoughts. And sometimes I'm not the greatest Christian in the world, but I think that's real Christianity. If anybody's really honest with their faith, it's a fight, man. It's a struggle, and it's a good one when you stick to it, and you run that race. So my success, man, it really depends on, and the way I see it is, when I'm dead and gone, and I think about this, I'm not trying to tear up, bro, but there's some scripture in the Bible that talks about a man that has ran the race, and the words you'll hear are well done, my good and faithful servant. And as a kid that grew up in Baltimore, and I didn't hear well done a lot, that for me to hear it from Jesus himself, from God himself, bro, that for me is everything. That drives me every day, man. Oh man, it gives me a heart for people. It makes me love people.
I think, like you're saying, and we were talking, like, if this gets to one person out there, if it helps one youth, anyone, it's all worth it, man. And that's why I was wanting you to come on here and share your story and tell your journey. And it's ultimately led you to another path now. Like you said, you've now gotten to golf, and everything you were just touching on. You've been able to start your own apparel company. So you got the shirt on there. Let's go ahead and pull it up for everyone here.
UrbanVoid.
There we go. So let's talk about it. How did you come about with the idea to start your own apparel company, UrbanVoid?
Yeah, man, UrbanVoid. It was this desire that I really fought for, where my place is in ministry. What do I need to do? What is God calling me to do? I tried to preach. I've tried to do all these things in youth groups and everything like that, but it always felt like it was someone else's duty. At that point, it wasn't my thing, right? And I'm like, Lord, I don't know where you're calling me to, but there's this void in my life that I need to be filled, and I always aspired to serve in some kind of way for him, and I just didn't know what it looked like. And you bounce around trying to find your place, and I was just like, well, I'm in business. I love what I do. I love owning my own business. I love being an individual in my business, and I just thought, okay, well, how do I? And I love playing golf. Real estate brought me to golf, and it's a great place to network. It's a great place to just enjoy time with people. And listen, you spend 5 hours with somebody that you don't know. At the end of 5 hours, you get to know that person pretty well. So for me, it's all about relationships with people, man. Where can I help you? How can I help you? It's not a money grab. It's not, a lot of realtors have a bad rap in the way they handle business. It's purely transactional, but all our clients are referral based. It's people that we've had connections with, and we stay connected to all the time, constantly. So that's what it is for us. It's relationships. We're really in it to help you and want to help you achieve your goals. And so I picked up golf, and I just loved it, man. The adversity I face, it's low impact on my body, so I'm not, running into people or getting myself hurt. It's adversity, man. I love the competition. I love fighting for, a good score and going against an opponent, and, it's all friendly. But for me, it's that competitive edge that I love the most about it. Yeah. And being outdoors, man. Here's a guy. I grew up, it's a concrete jungle, man. And now I get to go on a golf course. It's green. I mean, it's lush, bro. They keep the best care of their grass. You tuck in your shirt. There's respect. There's etiquette. There's stuff that comes along with it, man, that they expect you to dress a certain way, be a certain way.
Yeah.
That stuff you just don't get in the streets, man. And I'm just like, there's a void. This is what brought me to it. There's a void there, and it's in the urban community.
Okay.
It came easy, right? I said, this is an urban void. There's an urban void here. And how can we bring the kids on the street to a golf course? Think about this, man. A kid that's never seen a golf course, but maybe on TV if they have cable. Never seen a golf course. To be on one, bro, and experience what this other life is. What is this etiquette? What is this fixing someone else's divot that's not yours, that you didn't make? Caring for your neighbor, respecting the person you're playing with and the other people on the golf course. The respect, the etiquette, all those things that you're not used to as a kid growing up in the urban neighborhood. Hell, as a kid in general, that you're not getting at a house, at your own home. What is this other thing, right? And golf presents that, man. I mean, it gives you that. And so for me, as a Christian, I automatically go to, well, if they're not getting the greenery, the nature, the respect, the etiquette, the characteristics that come with playing a game of golf, learning the game of golf, how can I incorporate that with the Word of God? And for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, being able to connect with the youth in such a way that shows them that their life doesn't have to be in the streets or about the streets, and that there is a different path forward for them. And being someone that's outside of that now, but used to be a part of that, and allowing them to just feel something different and see that someone does care. Someone actually does care outside of those streets.
Yeah, because I bet that there's a part of you that looks at it like, if something like this was there for you,
oh gosh, man,
things might have been a little bit different.
It would have been a monumental shift in my life if someone invested just an hour out of their week to bring me to a golf course and teach me these things. Bro, it would have been life-changing, and I incorporate Christ in there with it, because for me, that's what changed my life. And maybe they don't feel that, but maybe they grab a hold of golf and the etiquette and the respect and the things that come with playing that game. Whatever they choose, I'm hoping and praying that one of those two things brought to the table and presented to them sticks, man. And even if it's just one, bro, like we talk about on here, that if somebody listen, if it's just one, bro, that sticks with either the characteristics and the things that come with golf, or they choose both, or they choose Christ, whatever one, it changes that young man's or young woman's life, And so for me, it's a no-brainer. UrbanVoid is the name. it's what we do is, my plan is, each hat, each shirt sold, we're able to take a portion of that. Yes, we're not completely nonprofit. We are for profit, but we take part of that profit. And we're able to grab these kids, take them to a golf course an hour out of the week. I got 2 kids this week, man. I'm excited for this. 2 young guys that have showed interest. I'm very grateful for them. Take them out to the golf course and teach them the first lesson, man. First lesson. I'm so excited for that. And that we'll be posting that video at the end of the week. But I'm very excited. I got 2 participants, man. I'm like, we're on to something. I'm juiced about it. I said, all I need is 1, dude. Yeah. So I got 2, and I'm grateful for it, man. I'm excited to teach these guys and be a small part of their life. But hopefully they realize it's impactful for them, and hopefully they'll bring friends, man, and see where it goes. But I'm juiced about it. I'm grateful that the Lord put this on my brain, and I'm excited about it, man.
I'm looking forward to where it goes and watching the journey. And definitely, like you said, if you're gonna do content on it like that, keep posting that stuff on your social and all that stuff. I wanted to kind of like revisit, but also kind of touch on with the Urban Void. Do you think that you still face judgment or assumptions because of your past? Because you said that you're still being like, people, I guess, are trying to knock what you're doing, I guess, here and there because, maybe because of your past. Do you still encounter that?
Oh, yeah, man. I'll tell you this. Church is the worst place to encounter that, man. I had a woman, I think it was last year. It was craziest, bro. It was like.
You said it was at church?
It was at church, yeah. And she didn't have to say a word, bro. She just looked at me. And it was an older woman, but traditional. Is traditional type of person. And, I'm in short sleeve shirt, shorts, tattoos everywhere. I can't hide them. Yeah.
Right.
Can't hide them. It's just what it is. But she just looked at me, man, in such disgust, bro. It was like,
and you could feel it. You could just tell.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, words can be said just by body language, right? I mean, when you sit in prison for 9.5 years, communication is everything.
Body language, you know how to read somebody. Yeah,
you can read.
You have to.
Man. You have to. It's a survival instinct. You communicate through every aspect of what you do. And so I got really good at that, and this woman, man, older woman, she just looked at me like,
wrote you off immediately.
Like, what the hell are you? This disgusting. Cover yourself up. Like, you get that vibe. Like, and it was just like, damn, shame on you. Shame on you. Because the Lord tells us, judge not to be judged. And for me to feel that in a place where we're supposed to be brothers and sisters, we believe in the same God. We preach and trust in the same one.
And then you're bringing that here. Yeah.
Like that. It make me feel that way. Shame on you. Shame on you. That I shouldn't, a person should never feel that or experience that at all.
What do you think's been the proudest moment in your life since you've, turned things around?
That's an easy one, man. My little girl.
Yeah.
Bro, having kids, man, it is, my little girl is amazing, man. She's a pain in the ass, but at 2 years old, man, she's, I love her so much, man. There's nothing in this world I love more.
Dude. It definitely puts things into perspective for you, right?
When they smile at you, man, and they're just so happy all the time. And I pray for Lord, never let that be stolen from her, man, because the joy of a child is just an incredible experience, man. And this life is so difficult, as you know, and your joy kind of fades and it gets stripped away because you don't know much about life. But at 2 years old, they're just the happiest thing in the world, man. And for me, I would give a portion of my life just to feel the amount of joy that she feels every day, and she gives me that joy, man. So that's the biggest gift, man.
Motivation, man. That's all the
and
motivation.
my wife now, man, is currently pregnant too. So we're expecting our second, and so a lot of prayers for that.
Happy for you guys. Congratulations. Thanks, I got a little deep one for you, but if you could go back and
we didn't go deep enough.
I know. We're almost done. I only got a couple more for you. If you could go back to your 15-year-old self, what would you say to yourself now, knowing what you know now?
I just whip my ass, man.
Yeah.
I would beat me up so bad. Um, what I would tell. I think um, there's a verse that I quoted to myself. It's John 14:1. It tells you that let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe in me also. And this is Jesus talking to the disciples. And my heart was very troubled as a kid, man. That for me, it just resonates at that time where, um, if I could go back and tell myself that, like, life is hard, but it's going to shape you into a person that you're going to actually, people are going to actually want to be around you. People are going to actually love being around you. You're actually going to be changing people's lives one day with the life that you live. And um, I wouldn't change anything that I've done because it's made me the man I am today. And it's blessed me with such a story that I'm able to share it and do it unashamed. And I don't want people to get this wrong. Anything I shared today was not to boast on me, but to boast on God. He saved my life. He saved me from all that. I shouldn't be here today. My aspirations was make it to 18 and I'll be happy. I didn't think I'd make it past 21. Didn't think I'd make it past 18. I thought I'd be dead. So, um, God had saved my life, and everything people heard today was all about that. Um, I'm a wretched man. I don't deserve the grace and the mercy and the saving that I've experienced in my life. And I'm very grateful every day that I get to wake up in a bed with a person that I love the most, with the people in my house that I love the most. Um, I'm very grateful to have breath in my lungs, man, every day. So, yeah.
I think, like we said earlier, and you said, firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And, I think people are chosen sometimes to have to go through things in order for them to come out on the other side. And I believe that, you're one of those people that were chosen to do and go through the things you had to go through to be where you're at now and to create your apparel company and spread the message and connect with the people that you're connected with. So, again, that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on here to spread your message, to hopefully help one person and, maybe that they could change the trajectory of what they're doing right now. But last thing I'll ask you, Josh, is what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
Oof. Legacy, man.
I know that's a deep.
No, it's good. It's good because, the business I'm in, I do real estate. I'm with JW Homes. We serve Maryland, DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania.
Pull up this man. This man is a real estate agent for
Look at
sure.
me,
This
man.
is real estate. Look at this. Come on, buy a house from him.
Brother. That's me. Yeah. Check us out, JW Homes. We are. Again, this is another man, Jim Wynn, who's my team leader. But he's more than that, man. He's a mentor to me. He's got 17 years of experience in this business. He's a man of faith. And I remember going to church and meeting him one day. We don't go to the same church anymore, but I met him, and we clicked on sports. He's an Orioles fan. Unfortunately, he's a Redskins fan, but we're all not perfect.
Yeah.
So, being a Ravens guy, obviously having almost the same amount of championships in less amount of time of being established.
Talk it.
I'm just saying, winners are winners, and we recognize that.
Yeah.
Looking for another one this year. So very excited about the season. But man, it's another guy that looked past my tattoos, looked past my past, and embraced me, man, and showed me love, brotherly love. And I love him. I love his family. He's a fantastic man of the Lord, a great example. The type of people I love being around. And I'm grateful for him as a brother. He is a brother to me. And, we serve people with the same goal in mind, and that's just love and care. But the legacy, man, is exactly that. Relationships in life are everything, bro. I mean, they're everything. It is the purpose of why we live. It's not to isolate ourselves from one another. It's to really get to know one another. And hope to be just impactful in a positive way in people's lives. For me, again, being a negative person before and know what that's like, it doesn't nobody any good. But positivity and just being an encouragement to other people, that's a legacy worth living, man. You know what we're trying to do with Urban Void and impact young people in such a positive way where they go back to their hoods or to their streets or wherever they're from, and they say, man, you got to check this golf course out. I don't care if they pull one thing from golf, just something that they can go back and tell the young people that they're around every day about that piques their interest and gets them out of their hood for an hour.
Gives them another outlet.
Gets them another outlet, man. Feel a relief that everything's not what it seems. There's another way. There's another lifestyle that you're just not used to. But let me give you a handout. Let me give you a hand up, not a handout. And that's the legacy I